think we're a couple of minutes ahead of schedule, but nonetheless. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Katie Hanoush from TransGrid, and it is my absolute pleasure to be your MC for this afternoon. Before we begin the proceedings, on behalf of all those present, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal and Guringai people of the Eora Nation. It is upon their ancestral lands that this forum takes place. I would also like to pay respect to the elders, both past and present, acknowledging them as the traditional custodians of knowledge for this place. What I would like to quickly do is just take you through a couple of the housekeeping items. If mobile phones, can we please switch them off or set them to silent to avoid disturbing the speakers? Toilet facilities are just located out the door and to your right down the corridor. Emergency procedures are largely the same as any other building. We will hear a warning sound, which is whoop whoop, followed by, if it's on, beep beep, at which point we do make evacuation down the corridor through the glass doors to the right following the exit stairs. The meeting point is down on Thomas and Jones Street, just in front of the Sydney TAFE sign. We will need to get clearance to come back into the building. Please follow a TransGrid employee and we will direct you where to go. We do have some new faces in the room this year, so I'll quickly touch on what the Transmission Annual Planning Forum is. It's a key output of our New South Wales Transmission Annual Planning Review, which is a year-on-year assessment of our network. What it's designed to do is provide an update on completed projects, planned projects, and ones projected for the future in the short to medium term. This year, we focused on 4 key subject areas, being the impact of the AER determination, the asset renewal program, early proactive stakeholder engagement, and continued exploration of non-network solutions. All these topics will be covered off following myself and Peter. This year, we've tried to mix it up a little bit. You can join the conversation and follow us on Twitter. We have a hashtag which is TAPR, TAPR 15, and we encourage you to get involved. Before I introduce our first speaker, we will take questions after each presentation. We'll try to keep this to about 5 minutes because towards the end of the afternoon we will open it up to a panel session, which you're welcome to ask questions of the speakers. So if I can introduce our first speaker, Peter McIntyre, who is the Managing Director of TransGrid. Peter has over 25 years' experience in the electricity transmission industry, with particular expertise in policy development, asset management and regulatory strategy. Before his appointment as Managing Director in 2010, Peter held 3 executive positions within TransGrid. Peter is Chairman of Grid Australia and Deputy Chairman of the Energy Networks Association. He is also a Fellow of the Institution of Engineers Australia, a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Energy, and a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. Please join me in welcoming Peter to the stage.
Good afternoon all. It's my privilege to welcome you here this afternoon for the 2015 Annual Planning Forum. To those who don't know me, it's a pleasure to meet you. We do look forward to our engagement with our customers and our stakeholders, and we take this very seriously. So please, during the course of the afternoon, ask questions, engage with our team. We'd like to actually get the maximum feedback and opportunity to interact with all our customers and stakeholders as best we can. We do hope you find the forum informative and useful. We will, at the conclusion, seek your feedback on the forum so that we can take that on board and make sure that next year's forum reflects that feedback and is as good as we can possibly do. We are committed as a company to very open and ongoing engagement with all our customers and our stakeholders. It is tremendously important to us. Some of you will have seen in the last 12 months our engagement on the Powering Sydney's Future project. It was, I think, an example of about the best engagement you can do in the energy industry for a network company. We're very proud for that engagement. We found it was tremendously useful in the feedback we had from customers and consumers and a wide variety of interest groups. Due to moderating load demands, that project has been pushed back, saving consumers about $200 million in capital expenditure. So we think the outcome is very good. But we're not sitting on our laurels. We are observing the future. We are observing the trends and the need for that project, and we'll constantly keep it under review to see if we need to do something in either the network or the demand management space. Katie mentioned some of the changes in the planning report this year. I wanted to highlight a couple. The first is consideration of the AER's draft revenue decision. And that's important because as an operator, we will prudently spend all the funds available to us within our ex-ante capital allowance. It's tremendously important that we actually do deliver for consumers and stakeholders in New South Wales and the ACT the best value transmission services we can. And as a company, we are incredibly tightly focused on that objective. The planning report also covers asset replacement projects. This is important because as we go forward, we'll have a lot more of that sort of activity. So Gerard and his team will walk through the AER position and the asset replacement strategies as part of the presentation this afternoon. But I do want to highlight they are new areas for the TAPA Forum. I'd also like to mention our work on the Renewable Energy Hub. I hope some of you have heard of this initiative. We're working with developers and government and various advocates to try to get up a hub for the connection of large-scale renewable energy in northern New South Wales in the Glen Innes area. Some of you may recall some years ago the SENI rule change to try to actually get efficient development for hub connections of large-scale renewables. That didn't really go anywhere. So the company's view is that we need to be more proactive and to try to drive the agenda. This afternoon, some of our key people are down in Canberra with ARENA, presenting to them, trying to get some seed funding to take that project to the next level of development. So we are very committed to supporting renewable development in New South Wales and the ACT. I would also note we've just completed our last annual customer satisfaction survey. The satisfaction level raised by 3 percentage points to 74%. That figure in itself is not really important. What is important is that we are interacting every year with our customers. We're asking them for feedback. We're measuring our performance. We're focusing on growing customer satisfaction in each and every customer segment that we deal with, both in our prescribed and our non-prescribed business. I'd also like to point out we take our unregulated business, not this afternoon's major focus, but we take our unregulated business tremendously important as well. We have growth businesses in two areas. The first of these is the unregulated network infrastructure development, typically for generators and large industrial loads. And the second is telecommunications business. Many of you may not know that TransGrid holds a telecommunications carrier's licence that enables us to sell capacity to wholesale market participants. So we are ramping up our activity in both the unregulated infrastructure and the telco space. In the last 12 months, we've actually executed contracts with AEMO for the delivery of the Deer Park Terminal Station in northwest Melbourne. That's very significant because we won that contract in open competition against both the incumbent distribution and transmission companies in Victoria. The reason we won that is because we were sharp on the engineering, we were sharp on the commercial response. We delivered a project that added value to the people of Victoria at a lower cost than the incumbents. What I will tell you is that that same philosophy is being driven back through our business to make sure that we are adding the most value at the lowest cost to the customers in New South Wales and ACT. So you can be assured that we are as focused on service delivery and price of our service in New South Wales as we are in Victoria. I hope you find this afternoon informative. I hope you find it interesting. Before I pass you over to Gerard and the team, are there any questions of myself specifically?
Sorry, just before we take the first question. Sorry, I did forget to make a reference to, we are filming today's session, and that's for the intent to put it up on to our website in a couple of weeks' time. The panel will also be filmed, but more to provide a script for us to actually translate the questions. If you do have a question, please state your name and the organisation you represent. If we can't hear it, we may choose to repeat the question before answering it. We do have roving mics, so please, if you do have a question, raise your hand.
Okay, well, that will, I thank you for your attendance again today. I do hope you enjoy it, and I'll pass over to Gerard and his team. Thank you.
Thank you.